right, we're here in Omiya, Saitama for the opening of the Mandarake new shop. They have a whole bunch of zashi out, a whole bunch of books out, kashihon, amazing stuff, and we're gonna go upstairs and see what they got. I lost my umbrella. Doraemon kakigori maker. That's sick. Devil man. So sick. This one right here? Yeah, with the whole thing. In Harajuku and Takeshita Dori once, back in 1997. Alright guys, let's take a look at what I picked up over at the Mandarake Omiya grand opening event here last weekend. To be honest, I didn't pick up a ton of stuff because I was out there looking for kind of key things that I really wanted to get for the shop and for you guys, which means I had to just join the Seichi system all day. So to explain the Seichi system, it's kind of like a random lottery. So from noon to 1 o'clock, they did shonen manga. So what you do is you go get in line, they hand out numbers randomly to people. So you could be the first person in line, but get number 25, 30, 40, something like that. And you get in line and then they hand out numbers randomly and then people go up to a showcase in little groups. The first person chooses one book. If they want anything else, they get to the back of the line. And you go back up, one book, back of the line. So I joined that one. And then I joined the next one from 2 to 3, which was the Kaiba. It's mostly art books and stuff like that. That wasn't as popular because most people are there for key manga, mostly zashi, key issues, and rare manga, stuff like that. And then they also have cells, shikishi art boards, original Genga art, Bikuriman stickers, figures, dolls, whatever you're into. They had different Seiriken or lottery systems for each thing there. So the one thing that I did get in my 12 to 1 o'clock slot was another copy of Domu by Otomo Katsuhiro, limited to 5,000. The 5,000 Club. If you want to join the 5,000 Club, you can right here. There's a couple dings in the cover. The book is really nice on the inside, but there's, per usual, a little bit of foxing on the foredges. This happens because the cardboard will shed with the book inside, so you can put it on a shelf for 20 years. Little teeny specks of cardboard will fall onto the foredge, and those turn into foxing, and you get some little spots. But the inside of this book is amazingly clean. And again, this is, I don't even know how many of these I've owned. I'm gonna say this is number 6. Number 6 since I started doing this business. So I haven't owned a lot of them, but they are getting harder and harder to find. I mean, go online, see what prices are, compare, check conditions, check trustworthy buyers. If you're interested in joining the Domu 5000 Club, then I would do my research first because they are not cheap, my friends. And at the same time, I'm not going to open this one because you can go over to the website and see the inside. And I've shown Domu, the deluxe edition, a bunch of times. Amazing book. That was one thing that I stood in line for, got, was happy with, and then I went to a different line. And the other line that I went to was Motoichiro Takbe, who was a famous illustrator in the 1970s, mostly fantasy and sci-fi stuff. This 3-book series came out in 1981, and it's a lot of the art that he did for like stuff like light novels, magazines, anything sci-fi, mostly sci-fi related, a little bit of fantasy related. Great artist. He was working alongside people like Kato Naoyuki, who did the explanation for this, and he was a famous sci-fi illustrator himself. And also people like, you know, Orai Noriyoshi did the famous Empire Strikes Back Japanese movie poster, Godzilla, I think it was Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and then of course, Mad Max, you know, Mad Max. It's amazing shit. I got these 3 art books, and we put these up on the website as well. Beautiful Women of Mars, we'll take a look at. It is an amazing, I actually just posted this on our Insta. The thing is I I explained a bit in the like post, like who he is and stuff, but if you're not familiar with Japanese 1970s and 80s sci-fi, you probably don't know who he is, but amazing stuff. I mean, look at that 4-armed gorilla man riding a spaceship, throwing a dude off. Or a spaceship, an aircraft, I could say, because there's water below. Or, you know, fighting giant bees. As you do. I mean, kind of in the, you know, when I was a kid, this is what I thought the future would be. You know, flying boats. I didn't know if there was gonna be giant ogres blasting us out of the sky, but, you know, circular space stations, orbiting a distant planet, but no, not yet. I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but I do like to see it in 1970s and 80s sci-fi. Don't want to fight giant ants. That doesn't look like fun. Nor battle mastodons. Also does not look like fun, but I really dig his stuff. One of my favorite, and I have this art book set, all 3 of these in my personal collection. That's how good they are. They are a fun one. Witches Under the Moon. Also good stuff. A bit more fantasy heavy, I would say, than sci-fi. But I mean, heads in a laboratory, pretty sci-fi. That's pretty sci-fi. So I got those. And then, you know, that was another line I had to stand in. Standing in lines. Actually, the art book line wasn't so crazy, but I was also holding out for the end of the day for vintage manga, which I'll explain more later. And because of that, I didn't want to, you know, blow my bankroll on art books. The thing about these Mandarake events is I normally don't shop at Mandarake. I do for my personal collection, but I don't for resale because prices are higher and I can get lower prices through different buying routes here in Japan that I know about. So it doesn't really make sense for me to go to Mandarake, but I do go to their special events. They'll do like a little summer vacation event for like Gekigan vintage stuff. Most of them are this kind of lottery system because they pull out rare stuff from the Sada warehouse. I got this one, it was just when I was killing time. Didn't have to stand in line for it because it wasn't in one of the, you know, high-end bookshelves, but this is the travel edition of Mazinger by Go Nagai, the bilingual edition. I'd actually found one of these recently, and you know, it comes in waves. It's like I'd found maybe 3 of them last year, couldn't find any after that. Didn't look for a while because there's a lot of stuff to look for out here, guys. So it takes me, you know, then I won't look for something for maybe 6 months, 8 months, sometimes a year. Something will remind me of it, or I'll think of it, or I'll be looking through my personal collection going like, oh, that book, oh, that book. I'll try to go find one, and then they'll pop up again. But stitched bindings, lace flat, amazing. And again, it's the bilingual edition with English as the main, and Japanese basically like annotations or subtitles down below. And I believe that this is the only Mazinger bilingual edition that they put out. So yeah, it's a great score if you're a Go Nagai fan, a mech fan. If you like big robots and you cannot lie. So great. Jerk, what do you expect? Are you some kind of coward? I've got a buddy who's seen me through 100 battles. Say it, brother. I don't know. When I read them in English, it sounds so weird because I'm so used to reading these in Japanese, you know? Some of the sound effects also are in Japanese. Gashin. They have been redone in English because wham, 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 woo, huang, huang. Amazing. So that is the Travel Mazinger bilingual edition, hardcover. Very cool. I kind of didn't want to spend money on shoujo stuff, so I kind of took a break from that. And then I went to lunch, and I came back at the end of the day for the vintage manga, which was crazy. But before we get to that, remember everyone, we have a Patreon. We just put up a video on Hayashi Seichi. Brandon and I went over to Vinyl Gallery at Tokyo Station. It's where they held the King Terry exhibition by the same publishers, and it was a collection of his Gato covers. That was such a success, they moved on to Hayashi Seichi, and this is a collection of manga covers, splash pages, and other things that he published in Gato magazine over the years from, I would say he started publishing in there in 69, 70, around there, and he continued to publish through into the 80s. And actually, Hayashi Seichi is still alive, but if you want more information on him, we did a full video, put it up on our Patreon this week. Hop on over to the Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to all of our exclusive videos. $10 a month, limited to 25 people, gets you access to me. So you can build a box with me, save money on shipping. You can make requests to me, which sometimes I can find, sometimes I can't find, but it's always worth trying. The main thing is it saves you on shipping, and I don't take requests on Instagram, my friends. I'm sorry. So many people hit me up, can you find me this, can you find me that? And like, honestly, I just don't have enough time in life. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, it's like life is too busy. So hop on over there and you can watch our full Hayashi Seichi video. All right, at the end of the day, they did the vintage manga corner. It was crazy. There was probably 50 or 60 kizashi in there. There was over 50, closer to 60 or 70 people in line. They went around, they handed out your number. So it's a lottery system, randomly handed out numbers. I was actually towards the end of the line because I'd gone out for lunch. I was chilling for a while, and you don't have to be at the beginning of the line because you can be number 1 in line and again, get number 54. I was towards the end of the line, I got number 19. So they had One Piece first appearance, JoJo first appearance, Dragon Ball first appearance. They had a lot of first appearances there, and many of them were very, very, very expensive. If you're following the Zashi market in America, you know that because of the grading system now and with the auctions and everything and eBay prices, just resellers in general and people who have collected over the years, the prices are crazy, not to mention some of the influencers out there buying as well at like crazy prices, driving up market prices. So even here in Japan, things have gotten very expensive. I decided to settle on 2 things. One was the first appearance of Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star, 1983, September 26th, number 41. And this is all wrapped up. Sorry, I'm not gonna open it up for you guys because I spent way too much money for this and it's not in the best condition. I mean, we don't grade here in Japan, so I don't know what it would grade at, but I'm guessing it would be 5 or under or something like that. And this is something that I would have seen maybe 3 years ago for maybe, I don't know, somebody out there, you can correct me in the comments below if you want, but I'd say $400 to $800 or something like that, but not anymore, my friends. This one's pretty nice. If you look at the spines, you want to check the top for spine damage. A little bit of wear there. Bottom looks really nice. Does the yellow pop against the pink? Because the yellow is going to fade before anything else. If the yellow is looking more off-whitish or slightly yellow, then you have serious spine fading on your book. Another thing to look for is, of course, dirt on the back cover. All of them are gonna have some. And then rips, tears, corner tears, edge tears, stuff like that. And because of the way they open on the inside, a lot of times, splash page especially, they'll get rips by where they're attached or where they're stapled, which is another thing that creates damage. So if you're out there looking to get into like these kind of kizashi and stuff like that, you really have to look carefully at a book before you pull a trigger on it. Also, you want to see how much yake or how much dark coloring, yellowing, maybe you'd call it, on the foredges there is. All of them are gonna have some. It's very rare that you get these like whatever, 9.8s or 9, I don't know. These highly graded ones that are like perfectly white. It's somebody who was a hardcore collector, kept it in a drawer for 40 years or 30 years that you get those. Grew up a huge Fist of the North Star fan. I am not selling this on the website. I'm gonna hold on to this probably for some years, enjoy it, and then at some point in my life, I'll probably sell it at some point, but we will see, you know. Love Hokuto no Ken. If you're interested in Fist of the North Star, if you're a fan of Fist of the North Star, then I've been reading this series lately, which is amazing. It's Hiromoto Shinichi's Jaggy side story, Evil Flowers. It's great. And of course he did like Hell's Angels and like Go-Go, and he did a few series, a bunch of one-shots and stuff like that. And he's got a unique style, and this is book 1, which I just finished. Amazing story, because it's not only the Jaggy side story of when he was a child, from baby through becoming what we know now as Jaggy, but you also get Kenshiro in there, Raoul in there, Toki in there as like kids and like older kids and young adults and stuff like that. So you get a bunch of side story that you never got in Fist of the North Star or any of the spin-offs. And this was Bronson and Hara Tetsuo did help out with this, with the story and stuff, and it was like it's not like a knockoff or something like that. So I do have a set of these up on JapanBookHunter.com. Very cool series. If you're a Hokuto no Ken Fist of the North Star fan, you'll dig it the most, my friends. And finally, the last thing I got from which I mean, I was surprised it didn't get picked up, but I got while I was out there, was Halloween inaugural issue number 1, January 1986. I actually have a stack of these Halloween magazines. I'd sold a whole bunch, you know, a few years ago when we first got into our new shop here, the big shop here in Koenji, Tokyo. I got rid, you know, I sold a Tomie first appearance. I sold a bunch of ones with Junji Ito in them, and then at some point, the prices, again, because of the market right now, started going up, 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 and I took my number 1, I put it in a drawer over there, and that one's mine forever because it's got Umez in it. I'm a huge Umez fan, and it's the inaugural issue. And I do have some featuring Junji Ito with the amazing covers, which I do not think I have up on the website right now. You can always try to hit me on Instagram and figure it out. But again, the way everything's going right now, a lot of my key issues, my Iki, you know, Doro issues, or Matsumoto Taiyo issues, or these Halloween issues, I have put aside because I just want to see what happens before I sell stuff off. For one, because I don't want to rip people off and charge too much just because the world's charging too much. We'll see what happens. And 2, you know, maybe I want to hold on to them for a few more years, enjoy them, and then maybe sell them later, or maybe not. Who knows? And that, my fine friends, is everything that I picked up over at the Mandarake Omiya grand opening event. event. And I didn't look at anything on the shelves. I didn't look at anything in the showcases that I wasn't in line for, because this whole lottery system, it takes you all day to get through. You know, I was there from 11 in the morning until 7 at night, just standing in line mostly the whole time, you know. I'll probably go up there again. They obviously stock the shelves with a bunch of like cool stuff, but again, it's Mandarake. I don't know if I'll find anything that's great for us, you and I. I'll probably stop back out there this week or next week and just check it out, you know. And I got friends out there that work for Mandarake, so I might as well go out and say hi to those guys too. And remember, Japan Book Hunter on Instagram, japanbookhunter.com is where we sell all of our rare, weird, and wild books. And of course, Japan Book Hunter on Patreon, my friends. Hop on over there and you can join for free. We do put up a free video now and then, but paid guys get all the advantages and bonuses because that's only fair. They're paying, you know? And until next time, stay cool. It's blazing hot over here, humid as hell, and matane.